Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It is episode 3 of Win, Lose or Draw. Let's get straight into the video. So the first thing to do is look back at the weekend's results. So let's get the table up and see how we did. You guys, credit to you, did amazingly well this week. 6 out of 10 right. 5 in a row near the end. You got Leeds right. There was a whole load of great results for you. Wigan as well in there. Meanwhile, I got 5 correct. I'm kind of happy with that. Bit disappointed with a few results. Disappointed I didn't get Brentford right. I should be back in them. Charlton, I probably should have got them as well. And yeah, there are a few other bad picks in there from me. But let's see how those picks affected the overall scoreboard. As you can see, I'm still in the lead but you've closed the gap. And the wheel is lagging behind. We need a big week from the wheel, basically. So let's get into today's predictions. And today's predictions, unlike last week, for this midweek round of fixtures, will cover every single game. I had a few comments asking where their team was. I had limited it down to 10 fixtures, but we're covering them all today, so we can't waste any time. Let's get straight into our predictions. First game on Tuesday is one that both sides need to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's Millwall-Swansea, 11th versus 10th, and it's two sides who have struggled in front of goal, at least last time out. Swansea had that shock 1-0 loss to Luton with that chaotic fight. Oh, brilliant, wasn't it? Millwall 0-0 against Barnsley, both in the relegation zone, their opponents. Both teams failed to win. I just think Millwall are struggling a bit since they came back. There's a lack of goals. There's a lack of goals in both teams. But I'm going to go with a Swansea away win here. I like what they did against Middlesbrough. I think they might be able to pull out a similar performance and bounce back from that Luton result. Meanwhile, let's see what you guys think. You guys have gone for 46% of you think Millwall will win. So it's another disagreement on the results, but that's absolutely fine. That's what makes this series great. I've gone Swansea. You've gone for Millwall. Cardiff v Charlton up next, and both teams have won both games since the restart. Brilliant form. Cardiff have got themselves up to 6th, and Charlton have moved away from the relegation zone. Cardiff had that 3-1 win against Preston. I was pretty happy to predict that one last week, and Charlton beat QPR. I didn't get that one, you guys did. Charlton back-to-back 1-0 wins, huge for them. And this is going to be the toughest game Charlton have played so far, and I just think Cardiff will be too strong for them. I'm going for Cardiff, as are you guys. 39% of you-ish think that Cardiff will get the job done here, and they're really pushing for promotion, it seems. Barnsley v Blackburn. Now, Barnsley have looked decent since the restart. 2 clean sheets they've had, which has helped in their push for survival. Meanwhile, Blackburn a bit here and there. They must have been disappointed to lose 2-0 to Wigan last time out. This is a really tough one to call, so I'm going to go for a draw. I think Barnsley are picking up points here and there, but I don't know if it'll be enough to stay up, but they definitely look improved since the break. Something's changed at the back. They look a bit more solid. You guys disagree. You've gone for 39% Blackburn win. Reading versus Brentford up next. I don't think there needs to be much said about this one. Brentford, I think, are going to win. They've been sensational since the break. They've dispatched 2 of the top teams and not conceded a goal. Fulham, they beat. West Brom, they beat. Reading up next is a much weaker opposition. They should be able to keep their form going and win this one. They are the informed team in the Championship, in my opinion. Reading have been okay since the return, but I don't think they'll have enough here. I'm going for a Brentford win, and you guys hugely agree with me. Look at this, 68% of you think Brentford will win. QPR Fulham now, and Fulham desperately need a win. They haven't won since the return. They've been shipping goals, quite a few. Obviously, those 3 at Leeds did not help their cause. They dropped down to 5th as well in the table. Meanwhile, QPR, they had poor losses, 2 1-0s against Barnsley and Charlton since the return. They really need to improve. Both sides not in good form, but I think Fulham, they've got to win at some point, surely. They're going to bounce back with a win here, in my opinion. I think Mitrovic, he's probably going to be banned, isn't he? But they need something, Fulham. They need to make something work, otherwise they're in serious danger of dropping out of those playoff places, and I think they're going to do it. I think Fulham will win this one and pour more misery onto QPR. And you guys agree with me, 42% of you think that Fulham will win this one. Leeds versus Luton now, and Leeds are back, aren't they? I mean, that performance against Fulham was amazing. Pablo Hernandez was on fire. Good to see him back. Luton, meanwhile, they've been doing okay. Obviously, that win against Swansea was amazingly impressive. But I think there'll be a big gap in quality here. If Luton can get something at Ellen Road, this will be a huge chance of them staying up, but I don't think they will. I think Leeds will win, and 76% of you this time agree with me. A lot of agreement this week, but don't worry, there are a few odd results that could change things coming up. Wigan versus Stoke coming up next. And before we get into this one, can I please ask you to subscribe and like the video if you're enjoying this thing? I had a stat on my page come up that about 90% of the viewers haven't subscribed, so make sure you do if you want more Football League content, more predictions, more great stuff coming up. But Wigan Stoke next. I mean, it's hardly a must-watch game, is it? 17th place Wigan versus 20th place Stoke. But Paul Cook's Wigan have been brilliant since the break. They've won both games, both 2-0 wins, both against decent opposition. So I'm going to back them to get another win here. And Stoke haven't looked great, have they? Wigan, brilliant. I mean, Nick Powell got sent off for Stoke last time out. He'll be a miss. Yep, Wigan are going to win it. And you guys once again agree with me. 79% of you this time think they'll get the job done. And that'll be 3 wins for Wigan. Maybe it'll be 2-0 again, who knows. Wigan, brilliant. Paul Cook getting his team going. And they were in good form before lockdown as well. I think it's 6 games without defeat, 5 games without conceding for Wigan. Fair play. On to Wednesday's fixtures, and we'll try and rattle through these. Preston v Derby. Preston had that loss. Of course, this weekend it was a big loss against Cardiff for them. That'll be damaging. Will they be able to bounce back here? Derby have looked okay, 2 from 2, and scoring quite a lot of goals. So I'm going to go for a Derby win here. I just think Preston don't have what it takes to make the playoffs. That playoff hunt is open to almost anybody, quite a few teams involved, but we've seen the likes of Preston and Bristol City hit bad form here. I'm going for Derby. You guys agree with me. 56% of you think Derby will win this one. Forest versus Bristol City. Now, they might be close in the table, but I don't think this game will be close, and I'm happy to admit I was wrong about Bristol City. There you go. I mean, I predicted in my championship predictions they'd finish in the top 6. They're not going to. They've been really poor since the return. Lee Johnson can't get that team going. They lost against Sheffield Wednesday last time out. Meanwhile, Huddersfield got battered by Forest as well. So Forest are looking good, and I think they're going to win. And this is a huge vote for you lot. 92% of you think that Forest are going to win here and get 3 points. They're looking good. They're up to 4th. They're going to win. Birmingham against that aforementioned Huddersfield now, and yeah, Huddersfield have been poor, but Birmingham haven't looked great either. I keep saying that 3-3 against Hull was a bizarre game. I thought they'd win that one, but Hull managed to get a draw, scoring 3. I mean, they're really difficult to predict, Birmingham, at the moment. Huddersfield have been poor. They're in the relegation zone. They need to find something. They need to pull their finger out. Danny Cowley's surely too good of a manager to take Huddersfield down, but I think they'll get a point here. It's going to be very, very difficult. Obviously, if Huddersfield go down, they're in the relegation zone at the moment. That'll be back-to-back defeats. And only 3 sides have done back-to-back defeats from the Premier League to League One. Sunderland, the last team to do it. Huddersfield will get a point here, I think. You guys disagree with me. Quite rightly, maybe. 63% of you think Birmingham will win this one. 2 fixtures to go now. Sheffield Wednesday versus West Brom. And West Brom need to bounce back from that Brentford defeat. They didn't even win their first game. They haven't scored a goal yet. Wednesday beat Forest last time out and looked okay, reasonably good. But I think West Brom are going to sneak this one. I just have a feeling they need to do it. Again, the pressure's on. When the pressure's on, the big players seem to come to the fore. I think without the goals, Charlie Austin has to start if he's fit. In front of goal, they've not been looking great. Austin's got to start, in my opinion. And for that reason, I'm going for a West Brom win. I think they can sneak it. In disagreement with you guys are backing Gary Monk and Sheffield Wednesday. 45% of you think they're going to get the job done at Hillsborough. Saving the best manager till last, perhaps. Hull versus Borough. Neil Warnock's back. Neil Warnock's back with a win, and Borough looked like a much improved side in their 2-0 win. I mean, Hull showed great fight in that 3-3 draw, but they couldn't get all 3 points. They're in relegation trouble. I think Warnock will see Borough clear here, but it is 21st versus 19th. I'm going for a Borough win. You guys clearly agree with me here. 62% of you think they'll get the job done. So there are predictions there. I mean, some good ones in there, more similar ones as we'd expect at this time, given we've seen the teams play a couple of times. So there are predictions, but what does the wheel think? You never know what you're going to get with the wheel. Let's see what he's got. Hey guys, we're back with the wheel, and it's Millwall Swansea to kick us off. Swansea looking to recover from that loss to Luton, and they will with 3 points. Now Cardiff v Charlton, a real battle of the 2 informed teams in the Championship since lockdown. It's going to be Charlton that get another win, and Barnsley continue their great escape here.
they'll get a point. Brentford look unbeatable at the minute, but will Reading stand in their way? They will. QPR Fulham now, both teams in poor form. Fulham without a point since lockdown, but they'll get the win here. Leeds v Luton next. Surely Leeds won't lose this one. 3 points. Paul Cook's Wigan side on absolute fire at the moment, but they'll lose to Stoke. Preston v Derby now, two sides pushing for those playoffs, and they can't be separated. Nottingham Forest versus Bristol City. Bristol City in awful form, but they'll get a point. Huddersfield fell into the bottom three this weekend, and they'll draw against Birmingham. You'll think of Sheffield Wednesday, West Brom. Just a West Brom win, they'll need that. And finally, will the good times keep rolling for Neil Warnock's Middlesbrough? Oh, yes, they will.
Good picks from the wheel there. I mean, hopefully a few of those surprises will come off. But let's have a look at all of our predictions heading into this packed midweek schedule. We've predicted Leeds to win once more. It didn't prove to be a curse last time. Me and Twitter have also predicted Cardiff, Brentford to win, Fulham as well. Quite a lot of similar ones here. So there is room for manoeuvre for the wheel. And for either of us, if we get those, the ones we haven't agreed on right. You guys think Sheffield Wednesday are going to beat West Brom. I disagree with you. You guys think Birmingham are going to beat Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield can get a point. So those are the key fixtures to look out for. We'll see if Neil Warnock can win again with Middlesbrough. But thanks ever so much for joining me again, guys. The support on the first video has been incredible in this series. There was a bit of an error uploading with the second one. But please watch and like and subscribe this video if you're enjoying these predictions. I've appreciated all the support on the channel so far. As I keep saying, it's been brilliant. But for now, I'll see you on the next one. Let's see how these predictions go.